Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hi guys, thanks for joining Lights On. And today we'll be discussing Paga with director and sound designer Nithin Lukose, who directed the movie Paga as well as did sound design for acclaimed movies like Thithi, Fable, etc. So let's directly get into the topic. First of all, happy Tamil New Year and happy Vishu, guys. And
Yeah.
the first question I wanted to ask Nithin is like, you were primarily a sound designer, right? And then direction came. So
Correct.
as soon as this movie Paga started, right, we hear first, and only then we see the scene. Was that intentional?
It was because I think that's how we designed Thithi also. Like Thithi also had a 10-15 seconds sound first, then we get into visual. So I thought maybe that's a good technique to start a film through sound, then you open the visual. So I think people will get in connect to the space a little more interestingly. So I think that was that was an experiment doing that.
So yeah,
Mm.
yeah, your profile seems to be very interesting. Like the proper filmmaker's profile. You got into FTA at right age, and then you made film. And your first film itself was Thithi, and like it's not even like Indian masterpiece. It's like a world cinema. The way you
Mm.
it happened, and then your movie happened, and the when you joined FTA, right? Was it what was the process like? First, you joined FTA, you wanted to do something else, and then get into movies, or you were interested in sound right from the start?
I was like I was a school teacher before joining FTI. So I got a government job, then I resigned it. Like I wanted to learn filmmaking. So we had a film club in our college. So that actually gave a lot of push to go and learn filmmaking. And sound, I think maybe, I don't know, like I always connected to sound more than visuals for sure. And so that so I don't know, maybe sound is a kind of a spiritual sense also in some way. So in cinema, we can actually work sound, as a subconscious sense which can get the audience intrigued into that emotion. So I don't know, that was not a very conscious decision, but I loved sound, so I decided to pursue that. And
When, when
I was a writer also. Like I used to write, and I'm still writing.
okay.
So maybe that writing, the storyteller in me wanted to make a film, always wanted to make a movie. So that's how Paga happened after some time.
So with Paga, right, like we were like before you joined, we were discussing for 20 minutes, we were discussing what worked, what didn't work, how it worked for each of us. So that's the general template in the discussion. So I was saying that the first act till the part Kochappan was there. It was terrific. For me, it was mind blowing the way it got into that. And when he died, I was feeling really bad. And
Mm.
I'm thankful that you were not showing the death in a gory way. That's one of the nice things of the movie. But till that point, which Kochappan was there, I wanted the whole film to be Kochappan's movie. But exactly at that point you kill him. So right at the around I think around 20-30 minutes it happens, and post that it took me some time to even come out of it and get involved with other characters. I was saying that,
Mm.
and Ashwin was saying the exact opposite. You want to go ahead, Ashwin?
Yeah, for me it was very challenging for me to get into the film in the initial portions, and from that point, they I think the exact point was when Kochepan comes to meet the other family to that house, and he starts from that point. For me, that's when I was able to get myself completely invested in the film, and after that it's like I was completely hooked into the film. I had a question on that, the whole structure. Okay, very curious about that. Um, generally the film, when you go for a kind of a revenge as the central point, right? The conventional structure has always been to explain to the audience at the beginning, okay, what exactly is the conflict between the two families. The very conspicuous difference is you keep that to the end. What was your thought process in changing that structure, breaking that structure, in fact?
Yeah, because this film definitely has a structure of Romeo and Juliet for sure. Because I learned literature, I know Shakespeare. So, but when I wanted to tell a story from my space, I wanted that to be uh, a unique story from my space, but which has an universal appeal. Which because my target audience was because I had a target audience, obviously. I wasn't just making a film because I wanted to take it to an international audience and international festivals because it's a small film. Me and Raj, we know that we might not be able to recover. I mean, it's a small film, but still, whatever is spent, we won't be able to recover from India. We might not be able to. So he also told me like you keep it the most original what you want to keep it. So that was my idea also. So I came to my village during a break after one film sound design. Then I started I thought what can I make? So this was a lesson from FTI, from the mentors who's coming from the seniors. So they like even Ketan Mehta, uh, so these seniors who used to come to FTI, so they used to tell us that the best story, the best film, you can make it from your space where you're coming from. So that hit me somewhere somewhere during this whole study process. That idea hit me, and I decided to go back to my space and search for what is unique in my space. And I found a swimmer under a river where people are dying and this swimmer is getting their body out. And he's the only one who can do it. That is that mustache guy, Joss. So this is actually a real incident from my space. So I've seen this guy taking out a bodies from the trenches. And he's the only one who can do that because he knows the river. And so when this happened, then my grandmother told me stories about how the Christian migration happened from South Kerala to the north, to Wayanad. Wayanad is in the north side hills, and how they fought each other to the wild, and they fought each other also to survive. So this was my basic, uh, you know, uh, my basic plot to start writing. Then when I started writing, I think I don't want to give a classic narration to the village story but it definitely has something to do with Romeo and Juliet. That I would definitely say because it is like that. And I love Shakespeare. I love drama.
Nice. Yeah,
So I started writing
anyone who loves Shakespeare can't make a bad movie.
yeah.
Now that you say that, the grandmother character seems like straight out of a Shakespeare. I did not make that connection. Any specific reason in not showing her face?
That's my grandma. So that's my own grandmother who used to tell me stories. So I maybe that was a cinematic narrative technique I used because she is an evil grandma in the film. She wanted revenge. Basically, the older generation want revenge, and the new generation actually they don't want it. Like Kochapan is regretting. He's telling Joni that don't get into this trap. But Pachi is a younger boy and he is trapped in the grandmother's vicious thoughts. So I use the voice of the person who told me the stories as grandma, and I kept it. And I thought it's more impactful not to show her face. Yeah, because
You
What
answered three
I
of
thought was,
sorry.
sorry, Arjun.
Just 1 minute. I noted a number of questions. Okay, I have it next to me. You answered three of my questions without even asking. So my questions are getting less. So first one was whether it was intended to be a festival film, because it looks like so, and it was. But I have follow-up questions. I'll ask later. And
Yeah.
in we have a WhatsApp group, okay, where we update the picture of the next week's film as a DP. So we updated this week. We updated the photo of Jose. Uh, Jose or Jose, I
Okay.
don't know how he pronounces. Okay,
Jose.
with him twirling the mistake. Probably that's the most cinematic frame of the whole movie, the most heroic cinematic frame of the whole movie. And I'm happy to know that that is where your story started. And third one is about how generally we see old people as naive and the ones who say don't go to fight and all that, but here they were venomous, both
Yeah.
the family, right? So that was a great move. And not showing the faces are another question which I had, which Ashwin asked. That is also a great cinematic liberty that you had taken.
Mm.
Yeah, now you guys can follow Kapil, Kavya.
Yeah, like I also wanted the same question of not showing her face, but I liked it not showing because that she gave me this creeps of, how poisonous somebody can, infiltrate your mind and you can ruin your potentially life. Like when the character gets introduced, like I felt very claustrophobic whenever the footage shows inside the place where the grandma lives. So and that right from the start I felt like, okay, this lady is somewhere, the character, it's deeply flawed and she might have the potential to change the whole plot. It was quite evident from the way she talks and the helper who comes, and when the Kochapan comes to the to visit the old lady, the house help says she doesn't want to keep the window open. These are symptoms of people who keep brooding within themselves on how they keep. And Kochapan, who stays away from this person, comes back reformed, while Pachi, who stays with the lady, tends to the old woman, keeps listening to the tales that poisons his mind, and keeps the revenge going. So it for me it felt very poetic that, like the river flows, the vengeance also keeps flowing, and it's the origin point which keeps them running again and again, drawing them back to the field of the whole vengeance. So that was quite poetic for me. So I wanted to appreciate and not showing the grandma, because I don't want to put to a face to the whole evilness. You can't just put it in just one form. Rather, it kind of doomed over the entire movie. Her voice, whenever she says something, it was like, why are you putting so much why are you carrying forward, was why is it very unsolved? Like Ashwin said, when the whole plot on why the family is doing what they're doing, it comes later in the movie, was keeping on. I was wondering for a while, why what are they fighting for? Why are the lovers very star-crossed on right from the beginning? What's happening? Because Basil looked very innocent right from the opening. So for him to go through a very traumatic event, I was wondering what would have happened. So that was quite enjoyable, was my feeling towards the whole not revealing these characters' faces. And it was quite traumatizing. Her voice only was quite traumatizing for me.
Yeah, because this we thought the same, and we shot one shot of her face. I think that was the only time we had a shot, but we didn't. I think it was there in the first cut. Like we see her after Pachi kills her. He removes the pillow, and we had a shot of her face. But I think Anurag Kashyap suggested, like after watching the first cut, he said, "Let's remove it because she is." She's even more terrific and venomous, like when you don't see her face, because everyone can imagine a face. So,
Have you seen Arunachalam, Nithin?
which one?
Have you seen Arunachalam? Tamil movie Arunachalam. Rajini's movie.
I think I have
Rajini's
seen
movie.
Rajinikanth's film, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You guys get why I asked this question, Ashwin, Kapil, or Kavya?
Arunachalam has something like this. I mean, I don't remember that film.
No,
Then venomous granny.
yeah, there's a grandmother character there who's like in her earlier age, she was the most villainous old lady ever. So
Okay.
after watching this it kind of reminded me of that character in that film. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You
what
Kapil, you go.
yeah. So since you said that you don't wanted to show that granny's face and all, so when I was watching the film, I thought like she was just like a character in our mind, the voices in our head. So you wanted to portray it like that. That's why she doesn't even want to open the windows. She want to stay in the same place. But
Yeah.
just now when you explained, I just realized that it is you, since you're a sound designer, somehow, you subconsciously wanted to just show the sound and show just the voices. That's what I am understanding, just seeing your conversation now. So actually it was quite beautiful. And the one big doubt I had was, when you show that old guy who's take that dead bodies, in that bridge, there's only two shots, and he's in the same place, and the shot is the same. And that visually challenged person, for him also, he's sitting in the chair in the same position, and shots are the same. Same for the granny. So it was like the same shot in every whenever they are coming, whenever there's a scene for them. So the only time the chair is from when the kid he come and sit in that chair. That is the only time we are seeing that chair in a different perspective. So was that intentional, and what is the reason behind that?
No, we tried to show the two families, grandparents like the same, like they are the villains in the film, and they have the younger grandsons to, train. Like both the families has. So Pachi did something and he got killed towards the end, and maybe the other boy, he's sitting there on that's the last. Yeah, he starts for a new era of revenge. So I tried to for both the grandparents, like even they have differences in their families, like they are financially different, but the revenge and the people, like it depends. I mean, I think it's all about the men you got in your family, right? Like Kochapan was there. He was a terrific figure in the past. So they used to call him Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's back from jail and he's lean. He's tall, but he's lean. He doesn't want to be that old Goliath. Like he was actually my drama teacher in my school.
Yeah.
And when I was like in here in Wayanad, like Manandwadi Coffee House, like I was forming the story. Then I saw him suddenly, and I thought maybe he can be the right person to do this with his long hair, and he's coming back as an innocent man who has done everything bad in the past, but now he wants to reform and live a beautiful life.
He reminded me of Vinayagar. But the way I first thought it is him, but many people had a face which I could relate to. Maybe they felt like real people. That's one of the pluses of the movie. It felt like it happened to real people out there. It's not there's not much difference between both. But Kochapan was terrific. If you are in touch with him regularly, please let him know that like he was absolutely fabulous.
I will. Like I was also trying to pitch these actors. Like 90% of the actors are from the village. Like they are not actors. Like
Not
they
actors.
have never acted. Kochapan never acted before a camera. Like only Basil, Vinita, the two lead characters. Then Joy, the villain of the family. He is an actor. And there is the Joy's brother who's getting killed. He's my batchmate in FTA, like acting batchmate. So these are the only people who have seen camera before. No one else has seen it before. So we wanted to try something different, like with the small film we are doing from a space, taking the actors from the space. So I mean, it was a experiment which could have totally gone wrong, but it worked. So yeah. So it's something like a dogma film, like which like Thomas Winterberg and they started doing this dogma in the in the early 1980s and stuff. And but we tried to, and Thithi was also something like that. It was an experiment which worked internationally. So Thithi actually inspired me a lot to make a film like this.
Yeah. Thithi, there's one way to look at Thithi. The other way is like for me, the Thithi main character is the most badass character I've ever seen. Like he's so cool, right? You can't pick a fight with him. Like Thithi, we can keep talking and talking about how it was. Now I can understand, maybe now that you're saying, I can understand the influence that you had on them. Before I forget, when you said that your grandma acted as that grandma in the film, right? Did she do the dubbing as well?
It was like like there were many things, most of the things on screen when we shot it, or we did sing
Right.
song.
Okay, okay.
It was all there.
And the
And
laughs and all,
which
the way
one?
she was laughing.
We dubbed some also.
Okay,
You know,
that was
some of the
specific. That was
off-screen
like
dubs were
proper
dubbed.
mother move.
Yeah, we created that to have that, because because the new generation was influenced by her. Pachi was
Mm.
influenced by her. The other boy's influence was his grandfather. Yeah, I
I
think
want to
Was
ask
that
about
the okay? Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry, couple. I have before I forget. Was did they like because it dealt with the death very differently? Was all that a reason why this movie also deals with death? The deaths in the movie was not as traumatizing as usually how films that usually portray death. Like it was quite easy to move on. Like I was looking forward on who's gonna be the next. You know, something is good. This is a very messed up family, both of them. So it was quite easy to look forward on who's gonna be the next. So was that the reason why you also dealt with death quite differently in this movie? Was that the intention behind it, or was to show how these people do not care about death? They're all they wanted was revenge. That they even even their death was also it's just a part of the process. Was that the intention? Was the
Yeah,
question.
revenge gets into human beings differently, I think, because I think that is one of our, basic, one of our, basic instinct is revenge is a basic instinct, I think. And I thought like people might go to till any extent to do that, like if it's for their family, or to keep their family pride. And um, the two families were like they are doing it for some time, and there was a break for almost 15 years. Like nobody has killed each other because Kochapan was in jail. So they were actually, Joy and other family was waiting for this Kochapan to come back and to get the right moment to kill him. So like these kind of stories are, I think, everywhere in the villages. Like people are going to jail. Maybe then when they come back, like after 12, 13 years, like people wait and kill them. So these incidents happened in the I mean in my place also something like that happened some time back. So that was one of the reasons to keep it like that. And when it starts, when everything goes wrong, they start killing and dying, and the village is witnessing it. The river is witnessing it. Village is happy to see that. Okay, yeah, they started again. So okay, let's the tea seller. He is like one of the villagers who is enjoying this. Okay, now who is going to get killed?
Yeah, he was also very venomous. The T settler, right? Even with his little.
Yeah,
Yeah. But the every time you show the river, is it the same river? I think the entry points were different, but it's the same
it is
river.
the same river, like different parts of the same river. Basically, it is a sub part of the Kabini River. So this reaches Kabini after
Nice.
after
Also
a few.
different seasons on the same river, no different
We shot
times.
we shot different seasons because we shot during rains, and we had some B rolls during the rains, and the main time when we were shooting is like December, Jan, which was that was the only time when we can shoot in the river. Otherwise, the water levels are too inconsistent, right?
I think the river also should be credited for carrying out the mood quite, like very consistently. It was like looming the negative energy whenever the shots of the river was shown. They were able to capture that the whole, that the nature is watching, witnessing everything, the every random things that we do as a mankind. That feeling that was very creepy. Like for me, it was quite nice. The terrain, like you said. I was not sure. No, I was not able to make out. Maybe because we are not familiar with the terrain and where it was shot exactly. But I was able to understand on how even everything that's around us are witnessing so many stories that we just don't pay attention to. Uh,
Network has some problem.
if you
I,
just stay shots of the river and during different, it was quite interesting. Sorry, I think I lost my connection.
Yeah,
Carry on.
internet had some problem. So,
river, definitely. I think the space has something to do with this film. I think I've always liked films which where the space is also an important character in the film. So yeah.
I have one question on the. So there is the sequence involving a gun that the female lead takes from the cupboard, and then she comes and keeps it back, right? What exactly was happening there? I did not actually understand that portion. Why she was doing, why she was taking the gun, and why she was she trying to prevent, she anticipates that they are going to kill him with that, kill Johnny with that gun. So was she just taking it out? Was she trying to hide the gun? And what was going on there?
We lost Nithin.
Oh,
We give a few minutes for him to join back. என்னோட எல்லா கொஸ்டினும் நீ கேட்டுறடா.
ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனும் போதே தெரிஞ்சிருச்சு எல்லாமே அவரு ஆன்சர் பண்ணிடுறாரு. நம்ம அடுத்தது என்ன கேட்க போறோம்னு முன்னாடியே சொல்லிடுறாரு. எனக்கு 4 கொஸ்டின் வச்சிருந்தா எல்லாமே டப்பு டப்புன்னு என்ன நான் கேட்டது எல்லாமே நீங்க ஒரே கொஸ்டின்ல ஆன்சர் பண்ணிட்டீங்கிற மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு.
கேட்டு வச்சிருப்பாங்க போல காமனா இருக்கும் கேட்பாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவர் ரிலே பண்ணிட்டாரு.
உங்க வாய்ஸும் பிரேக் ஆகுது கபில்.
ஏன் வாய்ஸும் பிரேக் ஆகுது?
We'll ask him whether he's joining back.
No, I just
Okay.
added.
Yeah, I think it's my internet.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries, I think.
Yeah. Did you get Ashwin's question, Nithin? Or
No, I missed it.
Oh, no. So there is this sequence towards the end involving the female lead, where she takes the gun out of the cupboard, and then she keeps it back. What exactly was I did not understand that portion. Is she anticipating that they might use that gun to kill someone? So she trying to hide that gun? What was going on there?
Like I mean, there was an ambiguity in that. Like we didn't say that why she did that exactly. So it's ambiguous that maybe she's taking it to kill her lover who killed her uncle. Maybe that is one interpretation. Otherwise, maybe she's trying to give this gun to his lover.
Yeah,
to protect.
yes, sorry. That's what I was going to thought. It'd be like Subramanipuram climax. Really excited how.
Yeah. We have, I think we have given an ambiguity in that. Like it can be both. Like I think it's up to the audience to decide.
That's a good one because it comes out of nowhere, and the important thing is it doesn't spoil the tone of the movie. Even though the problem with this is like scenes like this is whenever these ambitious scenes like this come in, it spoils the tone of the movie generally. But here, there's high chance that we would forget this. I remember this because I watched it again today. After watching first time, when I was thinking about the movie, I didn't remember this. So that it was beautifully made in that way. But you were saying about the killings, Nithin, like the probably the most I won't say it's a problematic thing, but probably the only thing in the movie which I couldn't completely relate to it is like the audience, the villagers see the killings as if it's a time pass, right? They come to the river, watch it and go back, and these two people will keep on killing each other. Is it in this world, is it so easy to kill and just go ahead and do their own? No one has any guilt. Even the people who see don't have any remorse. How does it work?
I mean, realistically, it's not. I mean, it might not be true. Like it's because cinema.
It's time for bed.
Sorry, yeah. Because I think cinema gives us that space to believe it or not. I mean, play the believability factor. So I thought we want to, because many, like, I got some questions of like why police is not interfering in it. You know, that is because the film is, maybe it's too realistic. Like if in a commercial film, we might not ask these questions because it will pass.
Correct,
Because
correct, correct.
believability doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. Correct.
But this film is, more believable because we shot it like that. We showed it like that. So maybe people wants to believe it more, the story and characters. So I think that's where that's where the question comes, and I understand that. And it's about it's two types of filmmaking is also there. Like when I'm trying to make an international film, I want to make it different. If I'm making an Indian film for a theater, like I should make it different. Otherwise, it won't work.
Yeah,
So there are two types of filmmaking in India. Like it's if you're making a feature film, but if you're making, like I was working in the US also for a web series screenplay. So they have only one kind of cinema. Like they have the studio films and independent films, but both works. Like both works for audience. You don't have to make it so different. But like Anora won the Oscar. Like Anora won the Spirit Awards. Anora won Cannes. Anora is, like, they are saying that Anora is an indie film, which is getting limited into the independent market in the United States, but because it's not a studio film. But still they spend almost like 10 million on it, like almost like 100 CR on that film, and they say it an independent film. We make like 1 CR, 2 CR films, and we say that okay, it's an indie film. Maybe like to your question is like maybe I have tried to show the film too realistic so that some things are not believable in the film, but I think that is a freedom a filmmaker can take,
right.
which is
Adding to
I
adding to Vikram's question, is that why I felt like the audience are also like kinda like looking at it as a, like, as a fun or something random. This was syncing with the WWE commentary that was hearing across. That was like me thinking, oh, this is just like an entertainment. Even this is an entertainment. People are listening to that
yeah.
because that is a replication of fights, which is not. I believe it's not real. But I feel that's how they see this also. When you see WWE for entertainment, I think this also the people, like, the lens they go to see this also as an entertainment is what I understood. Is that why WWE was also used, like,
That is
but
also because the village life, there is a humor in village life. Like it's not so serious. Like there is a definite humor. So you can see it in Thithi also. Like it's humor everywhere. Like in their life. Like when the serious things happen, also, like some for some it's very serious, but for the others who see this, who witness this, it's not very serious. But in a city, when things are different, maybe the economics are different, the social structure is different. I think the perspective changes. So I kept the village as a space where this is going on, but there is a humor going on between the among the villagers. So they would like to see this as a some are playing, some are witnessing it, some are seeing it.
And the WWE reference was the last thing which I thought I'll bring on, but now that Kavya had got it, like it was a terrific scene at first when you introduce Undertaker versus Kane thing because they are brothers, and again he comes back and there's a commentary saying the second Undertaker is coming. Like
Yeah.
it was terrific scene. Like cut this and put it into any mass movie. The second time the hero walks in would have blown the theaters. Superbly made that one. Do you follow WWE or is it just for this?
No, I don't follow it a lot, but I know the characters like Undertaker and stuff because I watched some, when I was growing up.
Great reference, great meta
And
reference.
this was something like I asked my sound designer to find something to, something which can be connected to the universal audience. Maybe a fight commentary where this teaser is someone who is always listening to it. Like maybe someone always you're watching WWE in a cable TV, something like that, in a CRT TV. So I asked him to take that, and he found this footage of this Undertaker thing. And when I was listening to it, I found this interesting. Okay, I thought, okay, let's put it in Kochappan's scene. And whatever was coming after was like when we are sound editing it, we found that like the second time the brother is coming back and is going to take revenge on So yeah, that was something which happened during the post-production. So it wasn't planned before that.
A good one.
I want to ask about more about the sound design, the sound designing in films. So I have met like people like editors, cinematographer, DA. You are the first person I'm meeting as a sound designer. So there's a Tamil movie Adi, G. Prakash Kumar Divya Bharati's. I think Vignesh Karthik is the director. So I had a chance to meet him and I was talking about the film. So I was talking the sound was so beautiful in the film. From the introduction to everything, in the boys' room, the galata they are making, even the little butterfly flying, everything was so beautiful. But he said that we made it actually more realistic and more beautiful. But the moment it went to the theater, they totally collapsed it. They're not even none of the theaters. They're not even switching on all the speakers. They're just having like 4 speaker sides and the main screen speaker, and that's it. So it's like we want to give more. We are giving more, but it's not like the audience is not experiencing it because of the theater. As well as sound is something just like you said. I'll be more interested in a film when the sound started coming before the visual. So it's something like it's like a poem. It's like a poetic thing for me. So I'm always into such a films. And take films like Jallikattu, the whole opening sequence, everyone's breathing, the clock's ticking. I was not even looking at the screen. I was looking at all the speakers. Which one is down when I was when I was in the theater. So sound design is something. I'm not saying that like, I want to be a sound designer or anything, but it's always it's something new for me. And just like you said, it's a subconscious thing. People know that scene is taking them inside the screen. The scene is making them sitting in the edge of the seat, but they don't know what is making that. Because it's the sound. The sound is making them to do all those things. So I want to know more about how you got into the sound and your experience in sound designing and everything.
I think the best thing I have done in my life is, learning sound design and started doing sound design for films. Because sound can do magics in films. Like when we are doing Thithi was our first film. The director, cinematographer, actors, me, like we are all editor. So we are all new to a feature film when we are doing Thithi. But it worked. Like it worked because of everything, like every aspect of the film. And I think sound also, because Thithi doesn't have background music in the film. And Ram, the director, like he is a sound freak. Like he's more crazy than me as a sound guy. And he, for his second film also, the Fable, which is almost I think, I don't know the exact budget, but I think I'm sure that it's a big budget film, like around 30-35 CR, with Manoj Vajpayee, and he doesn't have background music in that film also. So he believes in sound, like, because I could work with directors who really believes the magic of sound, and it makes a lot of difference. We did Foley for Ram's film in Ukraine, in a foreign country, so we could work with a lot of technicians from abroad. So it was like sound is like giving giving birth to a baby. Like it's more like the voice of the voice of a newborn child, like, because sound is a sense which we identify from our from when we are in the womb, in mother's womb. So that is one of the first senses we get from outside. So we know it. So that is like Ram was saying when we are introducing sound before visual. He was saying that we are doing the birth process, like we are giving sound to the audience before we show it. So yeah, like all kind of mad thoughts are. I mean, you can apply lots of madness in sound, and I love doing that.
Analogy was beautiful. How really like Tithi was your first film, and I'm sure that the way it was intended, the tone of the movie, even that was made for everyone. I mean the world audience, right? How did you guys join in? What was the process? Was it too ambitious a project to start as a first film for all of you guys? How was the
It
mood?
was actually a very small film when we started it. It's actually, the budget is actually a small film. It's a very small film. We Gowda and Ram, they started they wrote a screenplay which is happening in a village, and I was just out from FTI. My batchmate was shooting it, so he introduced me to Ram. They were college mates, and so Ram actually formed a small team of new coming filmmakers who are passionate to their field. And we went there. We were just making something according to his vision. But it worked, like it worked like anything. And Thithi was one of the most successful independent films of that year.
I mean,
Which,
forever, I believe, right? And when we take top Indian films, Thithi would definitely come in. Actually, if we are going to give a top 100 by critics rating, I'm sure Thithi is going to come in every top 100 rating of a critic. So that's why I was trying to understand what was the mood, whether you wanted to make that movie which you guys wanted to make that movie which you thought would redefine cinema, or it was just at that moment you wanted to make a nice movie, honest to yourself, and
I think we did that only. Like we wanted to make a very honest film to the village, but I think Ram had that international. Maybe he had a greater vision to take it to a bigger audience. But it was more than that. It was a process. Like when we were making it, we never know that there was an FDC. There's a work in progress lab. It just happened during the making of the film. What, like, Ram had some money to make. His father has given him some money to make that film. So we are all trying to make something which we're not sure about. But there was a conviction, and yeah, and more than confidence. I think we had we were making it like we were very innocent when we were making it.
So in all the films that you work as a sound designer, so do you travel with the crew to the shooting spot and all the, I mean, more than the background noises that you hear and all that, right? Do you travel with the crew in all the shots? Are you always on the sets?
Not really, because most of the films, not all the films do sync sound during record during the location. So if we do that, we visit the location. So we are the. But in other movies, some movies comes to me after the edit or during the edit to do the sound design. So then it becomes a different ball game, because you are watching. Maybe you're not even reading the screenplay; you're watching the cut directly. Maybe the first cut, maybe the final cut. So I mean, I start my process from wherever I get involved in the film. So sometimes we go back to the village and record ambiences from there. We try to replicate the space if needed. But some film doesn't need that. Like it needs more than what the space is. So we treat it differently. So everything is in connection with the vision of the director.
and how much is sound and music are in sync? Like how would be an involvement with the music director or for BGM and what?
That's a tricky thing in films which has a release deadline and stuff, because what we do is we work in parallel by reels. So when I'm done with my first reel, I give it to my music director. So I request him to give his music, BGM, background music to me, so that we can see how he's approaching in the post-production. Sometimes we get only 1 month to finish the film. So that is actually very tricky. So that becomes tricky. But if we get at least 3 to 4 months, then I think, yeah, I think we need that kind of a time, but not all the time we get the time.
Dubbing comes under your department, right?
Which one? Music?
The dubbing process.
Yeah, dubbing too. Yes.
So I have this doubt in the dubbing process. So when there is a scene about imagine a person is saying something and they are saying that while sitting, but when the dubbing is going on, the person is standing and just saying that thing, just impressing, like, giving essence to that voice and showing it like sitting. So does it make sound it like an artificial thing? I just wanted to know.
Yeah, dubbing always makes it very, very different from the original performance. So that's why we always demand to do sync sound. But it's not always possible because some directors doesn't want to do that because they don't know about it. Some sets doesn't want it. Some star actors doesn't want to do it because of different reasons. But that is only in India, like in regional cinema, it's happening. Like if you go abroad or maybe in Bollywood also, they are all doing sync sound because they want that quality and performance on location. Because it's like you're capturing sound is like you're capturing the visual, right? You don't want to lose it. If you're losing it, you're trying to replicate it in a dubbing studio, which is actually at least you are losing 1/3 of the actual performance. That's not a good practice.
One question about Sing Sound was like, me and my friend, we worked on her short film, which was Sing Sound, and but the interesting, it was quite challenging. Although it was quite an indoor plot, the entire plot was mostly indoor, and we chose a location which was quite far from the city. Even then, there was a lot of issues that was keeping like it was a 5 day schedule, but even then, that was quite hard. So we were wondering, there were only like 4 or 5 shots in the movie which had exterior live sound that was used, and but it's quite challenging to capture the essence of the village we shot. So basically, the exterior shots that we had villagers' perspective of the whole incident happening. It's about the post effects of the bomb blast that happened in the city of Coimbatore. It was it was talking, the plot was something about that. So what I wanted to talk about the challenges that basically what you want to think about in a director's perspective, how to approach lasing sound in general for some small scale production. So it is quite challenging. We didn't know, we were sure that we wanted to do sing sound, but going into it, the challenges was quite we were not prepared at all on how to deal with it. We were just going as it goes. But then it became more challenging when we thought, well, okay, we'll add a few there are certain things that we missed while shooting, so that we'll add it later. But then that was totally conflicting, the sound that we captured originally, and it was quite different. Do you have any like approach on how what to do, like when you do a very small scale rooted production of things?
Yeah. First you need to record it properly. Like, it's advisable to have a lapel mic both and boom mic both for the characters. And there is lots of tools in the post production right now. Like there are AI cleaning softwares like Hush Pro. Like we have bought it recently, which cleans almost everything. Like you can, like if you just need a good post production sound designer or somebody who can do that, which is definitely possible. And I suggest, like, you see, when you're making a film, it's like you're going on war. Like you're fighting, like you're fighting your own war, like you're on the field. You're shooting, like it's like a war. So let's do it. Like, do whatever the best you can get it for your film. So don't lose sing sound. Like, if you decided to go on a war, like go on full on. Like that's what I would say.
One of the benefits that we had when we shot Sing Sound was having theater artists perform in the short film, because we also had people who are YouTube stars. We were only able to offer them, but they had a quiet troublesome time doing live sound. But theater artist was quite natural. I always had a feeling that that's when we talk about legends nowadays, people say, oh, Shivaji Ganesh is too loud, why is he so loud? But I also think that carried, it is a very controversial statement that people tell nowadays, that why is he so loud? But those were the people who I feel were one of the strongest characters, were drama folks who they were able to carry their essence without us pushing too much into it. We did not have to even brief them a lot or coach them a lot. We had a Kannada based heroine as a main plot. So she was also a drama artist. So one of the critics who appreciated our short film, the one thing they said was quite expressive how the drama folks were. It was very evident that these people had a very drama mindset. So I feel that was like, very interesting to have. If you're not handling drama folks in your sync sound, it is quite challenging. Is like when you said Kochappan also was like comes from the background of it.
Yeah.
It kind of made sense when you answered that question.
Yeah, because Kochappan was acting like he's from theater, right? So he was acting like a theater guy, like he was acting for theater in the beginning. So I had to control him, like I had to control him and got him down to 60% down, and he was acting like 30-40%, which was good for me, like which will have come in his dialogues also. So it's just about, I think it's just about the job of a director on set a director should know things technically. Like I'm not saying that a director need to know everything too technical, because then it becomes problematic for him, for the other technicians to work with him. So I think like he should know lighting, he should know frames, he should know the lenses, he should know sound, but to an extent, like not more than that. So but we should know to an extent where we can brief the technicians and especially the actors. I think a director shouldn't be concerned about the technical stuff during the set that the technicians need to handle. Director has to brief them during the post production, the pre production. But a director should be able to get all actors in sync, because I had 4 actors who were already acted in cinema, and I had 90% of actors who never acted in cinema. So this was a challenge for me to get all of them in the same page, which was really tricky. Yeah.
But they looked so effortless. Like just before you joined the conversation, we were talking about how, these characters are found or discovered. Such movies show them in a different light. Like it's quite interesting on how did you end up with these roles, and how did you like? Can you give us a little more insight on how you did? The whole approach was choosing the particular characters for particular roles.
It was really challenging to get the performances from them. Like sometimes we were taking like 14, 16, 19 takes for an actor. Like this, the grandfather from the other family was really challenging in the beginning. But then I have appointed an acting coach with him, like all the time with him. So he got better. Like I can see from the first day to the last day, like it was like he moved like an amateur to super pro. Like that was a growth like I could see. Like, and there was other actors also, like because we sometimes we really struggle with actors, but the casting process was like when I was writing is I know all these people because they are from my space. I know them personally, so I could actually I handpicked them during the writing stage. So that's what I did. I mean, I thought maybe they'll fit into the character. So and we had a 2 month of workshop with actors. We did quite a lot of workshop with the actors. Otherwise, I mean, you won't get it from non-actors. It's really, really tough. You need to prepare. You need to make them understand the scene. So I haven't given them all the dialogues. Like I told them that, so this is a scene. So how can we improvise this? So we are improvising it. So, and we are making the dialogues during the rehearsals. So the workshop took almost 2 months with the non-actors. So there was a lot of effort which was gone before shooting, and during the shooting also there was a lot of challenges. So what we see is a refined version from that, right?
So from the movies that you have made, you have been associated. It's mostly it's around art house or for the festivals, right? But as a viewer, what are your favorite movies, inspirations, and what kind of movies you prefer to watch?
I don't know, like I like David Cronenberg, the Canadian director. Like I like um this guy who made Arrival. Um, you know, I like films with mystery, like crime, drama, mystery. This is my zone. Like so.
Any
Anyway,
specific
Vikram,
inspirations?
Sorry.
Sorry, Kapil.
just like yeah, we're starting to Vikram. Can I suggest some good movies which you think good for people who want to know more about sound designing should watch, or some documentaries related to that?
Like I think that I mean good movies has everything. Like it's a package. Like it has good. If it's a good movie, it'll definitely have good sound, good music, good performances. I think I don't know. Like I was watching, not recently. Like I'm always a fan of Robin Williams, the actor, who he did like Patch Adams, like his uh what is it called, the Dead Poets Society.
Society.
I love that kind of a zone. Like um maybe the films like films from Thomas Winterberg, who who is an evolved filmmaker. Like we were learning from FTI is that we were not learning a film or a filmmaker. Like we were actually learning learning a biography, right, of a filmmaker. Like when we are learning literature, you are studying the poet or a drama, playwright. So it's like that. Like we learn, like when we watch it, we watch like for 2 weeks we watch the only one filmmaker. Maybe Scorsese's cinema, I think, filmography is so we watch almost all of Scorsese films in a row. So it's like I think it's like you need to find your favorite filmmaker and watch him. I think that's what my suggestion is. Like I like David Cronenberg. Like I think that he has a magic. Like, and yeah, Denis Villeneuve. I love Denis Villeneuve for his work. So I think you need to make your personal favorites. That's what I would advise.
I have
Before
a curious question on Mallesham.
Yeah.
So with respect to, it does a lot of the weaving machine sounds, right? So as a sound designer, how did you approach designing sound for that? Did you go after everything was shot, you went and recorded the sounds, or what was your process like for that?
No, Mallesham, we did sing sound for the film. So during the recording of the film, I have briefed the recordist to carry a stereo mic and record all the sounds of the machine, and which I think most of the I'm in memory if it's right. I think we used most of it from the locations, and I think we have during the post production also I have asked Raj to record some of the sounds and send it to me. So which we actually need according to the edit. When the edit comes in, you know that what kind of sounds you need. So it's just a preparation from your experience that how you need to figure out of a film flow.
Do you, in your free time when you're so do you just try to build your library of sounds all the time? Or I heard one sound designer speak in an interview that he goes around recording sounds during his free time. Do you do something like that?
I think we used to do in the beginning of the career. I am finishing my 10th year right now. So we have done during making of the films. When we are doing sync sound, we used to capture a lot of sounds and make our own libraries. So we have quite a lot of terabytes libraries of sound recording. So basically we share it also. Like if I wanted a car to record, like an ambassador or a bolero. So what we do is we do the entire recording of the car, like approaching, gear, horn, like traveling with it at different speeds, passing. So we keep it in our library. So if we need something like that, like sometimes I ask my co-op sound designers, like if you have something like that, share it with me. So yeah, we record, keep, share. So that's a workflow we follow.
I have a question. Might sound funny, but just wanted to know. So,
Yeah.
have you created any sound that no one ever heard? Like, just like how a dinosaur sound that no one ever heard, but some guys made that sound. So just like that, have you ever made any sound in your experience?
That's an interesting question. Like not a creature for sure.
Yeah, of course.
That's an interesting question. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll have to ask myself like if I have made something which is not existing. Okay. I mean, I can't remember it from my memory, but not not a creature for sure. But we have done. When I was we have done a spacecraft like an alien spaceship we have done. That is a
What is the
combination of
process?
basically it's a combination of different sounds, right? Like obviously you will get inspired from Hollywood movies for sure to how it sounds. Then in the sound editing process, you you choose different sounds, like different kinds of sounds, and you ask the Foley guy also to give some sounds which can be sounding like that. And yeah, we have created something like that. I think in a sci-fi movie we can. I think yeah, that's where we mostly do this kind of a stuff. Yeah.
So, do you have anything to say about the AI coming? In the AI will take over sound also.
I think AI won't take over anything. Like it'll help. Like it'll help us. Like computer came in from analog to digital happened. It'll help us. There'll be some people will lose job at a point, but yeah, they'll get hired at a different position. I think that it's going to be repositioned. It's not going to take away anything. I think it's going to be repositioned. But AI is helping us because when we are starting the sound cleaning process, so there are AI softwares which is cleaning it like insane. Like I mean, it's not. I mean, I can't believe the way they are taking out the unnecessary sounds. So which is actually helping us a lot. So it will reposition things. That's what I believe.
Nathan, one last question before we end the.
Yeah.
So I believe at least that Paga is made as an anti-revenge film, right? Like you want people to repel revenge and all that. But in an anti-revenge film, why you made the last shot as if a young kid is sitting and planning a revenge for future?
Because it's a cycle, right? Because that's what human being wants. Maybe they want it to go on. Like if it's, I mean, he can do it or he'll do it. That is a different question, but that is a basic human instinct, and I think the cycle will it's a cycle. Like I believe the life is a cycle. Like everything is a cycle, right? Day and night is a cycle. So this is also a kind of a cycle he's preparing to. But if he is going to do that in the future, or if he will be successful, I don't know. But I thought maybe there is a possibility of a second part of Paka also in some way, in
But
some future.
it's even can be said that I'm also assuming that because you're not telling that he's just sitting there. He's
Yeah.
not much. He doesn't show much expressions throughout the movie. All he does is like he keeps on staring. We can't read that boy like others. So it can be anything. But my interpretation, I just wanted to check with you.
Yeah. He was actually a mute boy in the film, but I don't know
Okay.
like if communicated like that or not. He's not talking in the film at all.
Okay. I didn't understand.
Yeah, but I am but I think it's not we didn't try to emphasize all that also.
Yeah,
Please me.
got it. That's a good one. Yeah, Arun, I think you wanted to go
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Nitin. I was like watching a Tyagaraja Kumar director interview. He was saying like some unique sounds he wanted to like recreate. when someone fallen in the bus, like bus ran over them. It was like a tub sound from the head like that. So you recreated. You wanted to try any recreating any unique sound, which like would be difficult to recreate anything like that. I'm audible.
I don't know, man. Like I've never thought about it. Like if something interesting comes in, like we'll definitely work on that. It's a because everything I know is that it's a combination of a sound editing from the libraries, from the sounds we record in the Foley, and we create something. So I think it'll be definitely a challenge to do something like that, and I'm waiting for a film to come in to do something like that.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nithin, for patiently answering all our questions. The 1 hour went like a breeze, and we learned a lot from you. You were so humble and told us about all the stuffs. And all the best for your future movies. And we would like to have you back when you make another movie or when something big happens again. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thanks, Vikram. It's always happy to talk about cinema. So yeah, we'll catch
I
up
love
soon.
few analogies that you told, like a childbirth and the war one where you're literally shooting, right? I'll probably copy that and use it in some other form later. I will credit you then.
Yeah, it's like staying with the minds forever, like those, very catchphrasy way of approach. Yeah. Thank
Like
you.
Kamal anecdotes, right? Kamal, whenever he talks, he give anecdotes and it'll somehow stay in your mind. Something like that. You gave 2 anecdotes for us to use in
Yeah.
future.
Like Vikram said, I was keeping on thinking about it. That's a like interestingly, I've never thought about that. Like, how to approach it as a war was quite interesting take perspective. Thank you for that.
Yeah, do everything to make your art. That's do
Uh,
whatever you can
one
do.
one
Yeah.
last question. This is also, this might sound funny. So this Wilhelm scream, I'm not sure whether I'm pronouncing it right or not. Wilhelm scream, the famous scream, comes in every film now. So they're still using that scream, the scream in every film. Even nowadays also I can see that. So it is like it's like it's like sound designer way of just use it, man. It'll be funny to hear. The other filmmakers will hear it and they will make you laugh. Or why they are still using it?
Silver screen, that name.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know why they are using that term. Silver screen is because maybe it's prestigious, or maybe the color of the
Oh,
screen. Hmm.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, got it, got it.
So yeah, I think maybe they are using the term because of film is a prestigious medium. Maybe I don't know.
So
It's just that I think it's just Maniratnam was there at the time, so he was making his magics. So there are different directors, different actors doing their stuff in every industry, and cinema is growing, and it's a bliss if we can all be a part of it. I think that's how I see that. So yeah, hopefully we all make our films one day and do our magics.
thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys for all joining the session.
Yeah,
So
talking to you.
in our next week, we'll be talking about Dolomite is My Name, the movies in Netflix. And we will be having our next session a couple of weeks later on April 27th at the same time. Please do watch that movie. It's a very fun movie. Like we can have a great discussion on that. Thank you so
What's the
much.
one called, Vikram?
Dolomite is My Name.
Oh, okay.
I'll,
have to
I'll
watch it.
message I'll message that name. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
See you guys.
See you then.
Nice
Bye.
talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
You guys.
Bye.